Have you ever trusted someone only to feel that silent snap, like a glass shattering at your feet? It's not just the betrayal that stings, it's the realization that you handed someone your trust, and they used it to write their own script, not yours. But what if you could see it coming next time? What if you could spot the signs before the damage was done? Let's begin this journey with a raw truth. Betrayal is not just a painful moment, it's a mirror. A sharp, reflective moment that jolts you awake. It forces you to see people and your own boundaries more clearly. Trust. It's such a fragile thing, yet it holds everything together. It's the invisible thread that connects us in every interaction. Think about it. Whether you're having coffee with a friend, working on a project, or simply exchanging a glance with a stranger at the store, trust is always there, quietly at play. And today we're going to unravel something vital. We're going to decode the silent patterns of trust, how to read them, how to understand people more deeply, and how to truly know who deserves your confidence and who doesn't. This isn't about judging others or building walls. It's about protecting what matters most: your peace of mind, your emotional well-being, and your personal journey to greatness. Because sometimes the people who seem kindest, most charming, even most loyal, are the very ones who quietly undermine you. So in this video, I'll walk you through 9 types of people you need to be cautious of. Not to isolate yourself, but to elevate your awareness. Because Stoicism teaches us something powerful. Knowing others helps us protect ourselves, and choosing wisely leads to a life of strength, dignity, and peace. Let's start with the first type. Pain. The manipulative individual imagine trust as handing someone a pen to sketch your portrait. In the right hands, it becomes a masterpiece. But in the wrong hands, they'll scribble over your identity until you barely recognize yourself. That's the manipulator. These people are clever, charming on the surface. But behind that smile, they're drafting blueprints for their own agenda. They don't walk beside you, they steer you subtly and selfishly toward what they want. They're like stage magicians. One hand dazzles you with kindness, while the other's quietly emptying your pockets. They twist stories, bend truths, and stir emotions, not to connect, but to control. And here's the danger. They blend in. They adapt. Like chameleons, they change colors to fit the room. But unlike the real lizards, they shift facts, feelings, and friendships to keep you off balance. So what can you do? Become a quiet detective. Watch for contradictions. Pay attention to half-truths. And trust that gut feeling, the one that whispers something's off, even when everything looks okay. Remember, it's not about being cynical. It's about being conscious. If someone constantly leaves you doubting yourself, it might be time to close that chapter. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." So listen, not just to words, but to the pauses, the silences, the shifts in tone. That's often where the truth hides. In the end, your emotional health isn't optional. It's essential. And sometimes, the boldest act of self-love is walking away from those who abuse your trust. Because this is your life, and no manipulator deserves to hold the brush. Now let's turn to the next type of person you should be cautious of. Someone who wears the mask of feedback, but behind it hides constant criticism. After exposing the manipulator's subtle deceptions, let's now step into the next arena, where criticism isn't constructive, but corrosive. The constant critic picture. Someone who always seems ready to pounce, with words, not fists. The constant critic is armed with judgments sharper than knives and just as quick to cut. Like a glitch in your favorite video game, they disrupt the flow, the harmony, the trust. Relying on them is like pouring secrets into a cup riddled with cracks. Eventually, it all leaks out. Their feedback often sounds less like helpful reflection and more like a projection of their own insecurities. And while their voice may be loud, it's not a true measure of your worth. Their relentless criticisms can feel like rain on your birthday parade, dampening your spirit, soaking your confidence, and leaving behind a chill of doubt. Now let's take a lighthearted detour for a moment. Imagine this person as a self-appointed judge in the courtroom of your life. Everyone around them is on trial. They bang their gavel with the same passion a chef uses to oversalt an already ruined stew. Exhausting, isn't it? Trusting this person? It's like expecting a cat to resist chasing a laser pointer, cute in theory, but completely unrealistic. But jokes aside, the Stoics were crystal clear. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. So when you meet someone who constantly critiques, take a step back, not in fear, but in wisdom. Remember, you don't need to defend your worth in the court of someone else's bitterness. Walking away from their noise is like choosing a calm, shaded path over a stormy battlefield. Let their voice become background static, just another sound in the distance, not the soundtrack of your life. Trust in yourself. Anchor your confidence deeply, because in the end, it's not their opinion, but your own resilience that defines your story. The superficially friendly now, let's talk about someone quite different. Yet just as deceptive, they're the social butterfly, the ever-smiling charmer who seems to glide effortlessly through crowds, leaving behind laughter, lightness, and a trail of, "Hey, how are you?" greetings. But pause for a second, because not all that glitters is gold. These masters of charm may seem like everyone's best friend, but sometimes their warmth is skin deep. Their smiles, as wide as the horizon, might be nothing more than polished masks hiding a thirst for popularity. Like emotional chameleons, they blend into any crowd, adapt to every conversation, and say just the right thing to everyone. But a true friend? That's someone who walks in when the rest of the world walks out, not someone who disappears when the party's over. Seneca once said, "True friendship is always serene." And serenity doesn't live in flashy compliments or endless social media tags. It lives in quiet loyalty, in showing up when things fall apart, not just when the spotlight's on. So before you get swept up in their charm, ask yourself, will they be there when the music stops and the cake crumbles? Their friendship may be like morning mist, beautiful from afar, but gone when the sun rises on reality. In a world full of shallow connections, seek depth. Because in the tapestry of life, it's not the glittering threads that hold it together. It's the strong, quiet stitches of those who stay when things get hard. The inattentive listener. Now let's meet someone we've all encountered. Probably more often than we'd like. This is the person who nods politely as you speak, but their eyes are elsewhere, glazed over, zoning out. They're probably planning dinner, or mentally scrolling through a to-do list you're not part of. Talking to them feels like playing tennis against a curtain. No bounce back, no connection, just silence. It's frustrating, right? But here's the twist. While it's easy to get annoyed, the Stoic Seneca reminds us, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. In this age of constant notifications and buzzing distractions, the inattentive listener is a symptom of a deeper problem. We've forgotten how to truly listen. Imagine you're sharing something personal, something real, and there they are, scrolling through their phone like your story is just background noise. It's more than rude. It's a disconnect, a fracture in the relationship, because listening isn't just about hearing words. It's about showing presence, offering space, giving attention. So how do we respond? We don't shout louder. We shift our attention. We invest our stories in people who value them, and we become the kind of listeners we wish others were. And speaking of disconnection, in the next part, we'll uncover another quiet danger. Someone who always agrees, always smiles, but deep down, never truly stands beside you. Let's keep going. After all, life's too short to be just background noise in someone else's screen time. So if you ever find yourself pouring your heart out to an inattentive listener, only to be met with glazed eyes and idle nods, remember this: you have every right to value your words. Your time is a gift, and not everyone deserves it. Don't just stand there feeling invisible. Take a cue from the Stoic playbook. Walk away with dignity. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, it's not that we have little time, but more that we waste a good deal of it. Let's stop wasting time on those who aren't even present. Now let's shift to someone even more unsettling. 5. The empathy-lacking individual. As we navigate the winding roads of life, we sometimes cross paths with people who seem to have lost their moral compass entirely, especially when it comes to empathy. Imagine someone who finds it as easy to deceive, for personal gain, as most of us find it easy to breathe. Chilling, isn't it? These individuals march through life's puddles without the slightest care for who gets drenched in their wake. Their radar for human feelings, permanently offline. Their emotional detachment doesn't just wave a red flag, it hoists a full-blown warning banner. Trust is a delicate bird. And in the hands of the empathy lacking, it's like placing an eggshell in a vise. Crushed, cracked, forgotten. A wise Stoic once said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." It's a powerful reminder. These empathy-deficient individuals operate alone, buzzing around for their own gain, never thinking about the greater good. And here's the danger. Trusting them is like handing over a map to your deepest vulnerabilities. It's not just risky, it's reckless. Our challenge, as modern-day Stoics, is to recognize these traits early and create a healthy distance. Not to be cold, but to be conscious, to live with intention and integrity. Because when you protect yourself, you also set the tone for a kinder, more considerate world. This isn't about avoiding harm. It's about cultivating a space where empathy and trust are honored, not endangered. And speaking of emotional turbulence, let's now talk about another type, the one who pokes, provokes, and needles their way into your peace. 6. The constant irritator. You know them the moment they enter the room. This is the person who thrives on tension. They stir the pot just to watch it bubble. With every jab, every smirk, every sarcastic remark, they chip away at your calm. At first, it might seem minor, harmless, a joke here, a comment there. But over time, these little darts accumulate, and suddenly you're bleeding energy without realizing it. They're emotional ninjas, throwing subtle jabs while smiling sweetly. Always right, never in doubt, and forever lurking, ready with a sly comment that gets under your skin. But here's the thing. They want a reaction. That's their power play. Don't give it to them. Marcus Aurelius offers a powerful reminder. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When the irritator tries to ruffle your feathers, remember, your mind is your sanctuary. You don't need to push back. You don't need to fight. Just step aside. Let their words float by like clouds in a windy sky. You don't have to engage. You don't have to respond. You are the calm in their storm, the unmoved mountain, the silent strength they cannot shake. So next time they come at you with that smug tone or backhanded comment, smile, nod, move on. You're not playing their game. You're playing your own, one of clarity, peace, and unshakable inner power. Now, let's look at a different kind of emotional trap. Someone whose story is always the same, always sorrowful, and somehow never seems to change. Let's meet the eternal victim. We just face the provocations of the constant irritator. But some people don't throw jabs, they drown you in their sorrows. And if you're not careful, you might go under with them. The eternal victim. Imagine a ship captain who ignores the compass, then wonders why they always end up in storms. That's the eternal victim. Their life is a continuous cycle of misfortune, some real, but many self-created. Their worldview is shaped by a mix of pessimism and passivity. They seem trapped in a loop, always expecting the worst and, oddly, always finding it. Like a storm that never clears, they carry clouds wherever they go. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." And for the eternal victim, their thoughts are the storm. Their inner narrative becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, one that drains both them and those around them. Now, offering a helping hand may feel noble. And yes, empathy matters. But lean in too far, and you might find yourself getting pulled into their whirlpool of never-ending complaints. It's a delicate dance, balancing compassion with self-preservation. So what do? Keep your feet firmly planted. Don't let their path become yours. You have your own ship to steer, your own skies to chase. Life may be unpredictable, but your course doesn't need to follow another's chaos. Now, let's move on from the storm to a different kind of danger. The kind that smiles to your face and slices behind your back. The two-faced individual. This next character is subtle, deceptive, and dangerously charming. The two-faced individual. They wear the perfect disguise, sweet, warm, engaging. Their compliments flow like honey, and their laughter feels sincere. But the moment you turn your back, the mask slips, and the venom seeps in. You'll find them, weaving webs of rumors not just about you, but anyone within reach. They move seamlessly between praise and betrayal, like a skilled actor switching roles mid-scene. But here's the painful twist. The stage is your life, and the drama, all too real. Seneca once said, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." And that wisdom applies perfectly here. You don't have to confront them with fire or anger. You just have to make a conscious choice. Walk away. Don't get entangled in their net of deceit. Choose instead to surround yourself with people who uplift, not those who manipulate. Cutting ties isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're not only protecting your reputation, you're guarding your peace, your trust, your emotional well-being. Because a friend who betrays is far more dangerous than a known enemy. Why? Because they hold the key to your trust and misuse it behind closed doors. So take the brave step. Let them go. Because in a life built on truth, there's no room for duplicity. And finally, let's meet one last figure. The one who drains joy from every room. The one who poisons connection like a toxin in clear water. The toxic individual. Trust is sacred. It's not something to hand out like free samples at the grocery store, especially not to the toxic individual. This person is the shadow in your sunshine, the storm cloud in your clear sky. They carry with them a heavy fog of negativity that seeps into everything around them, conversations, relationships, even your self-worth. Imagine you're carefully building a sandcastle of self-esteem. Then along comes this person and kicks it over with one swift, cutting remark. That's their specialty. They don't just doubt. They cause you to doubt yourself. And trusting them? That's like giving them a bigger boot. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't always avoid toxic people, but you can control your proximity to them. You don't have to let their storm sink your ship. Instead, handle them with care and distance. Use a long-handled spoon, close enough to be civil, but far enough not to get drenched in their emotional downpour. Because keeping your own boat steady, that's what matters. Trust in the hands of someone toxic becomes dangerous. That's why it must be measured, tailored, like a house key. It should only be handed to those who've proven they respect your space, not turn it into a circus. Finding that sweet spot between blind trust and rigid skepticism, that's wisdom, that's stoicism. So remember, trust wisely, respect deeply, and never apologize for protecting your peace. Thank you for walking this journey through the complex world of trust and character. If these insights resonated with you, share them with someone who needs to hear them. Like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to stay updated with more Stoic wisdom to guide your modern life. And before you go, drop a comment below. You don't need to say much. A simple phrase will do. Trust wisely, respect deeply. Let it be your mantra for a life of clarity, connection, and growth. Stay stoic. Keep growing.